This is Mani Jassal's passion for fashion design on full display.
So these are the red pieces that I have for this season, and this is for somebody that wants a little bit of tradition but is still looking for something a little bit more modern. And the cool thing about these is that there's only 5 of them made, and each bride that would be wearing it, she would be the only one ever to wear it.
You could say this is a dream come true for Mani, inspired by her mother and grandmother who were both seamstresses. Mani has known from a very young age what she wanted to do.
Growing up, I always carried around a sketchbook with me. I always said to my parents I wanted to be an artist, and I think when I was 11 years old, I was such a nerd. I was sitting in journal club and I was writing in my diary, and I'm like, but how do I become an artist and I make money at the same time? And then all of a sudden I was like, fashion. And because I've grown up watching my mom sew, and that's where it sort of started, where I was just like, I'm gonna be a fashion designer now.
She isn't just an artist, she's also strong in math, physics, and science, and considered going into engineering.
It came down to grade 12 when we were applying for universities that I was just like, you know what? I've dreamt about being a fashion designer since I was little. Let's just apply to Ryerson for the fashion design program. And I was like, I will let that kind of decide what I end up doing in life. If I get in, I do fashion. If I don't, I become an aerospace engineer. But then right when June hit, that's when I received my letter, and my dad kind of handed it to me. He's like, so this is it then? And I'm like, yep, this is it. I'm doing fashion.
She graduated from Ryerson School of Fashion in 2013 and hoped to find an established designer to work for and learn from.
I found it very difficult to find a job after graduating. There isn't much in the industry, and if there is, it's all unpaid work. And it was really difficult for me to leave the job that I was working at to just do unpaid work. And then it was just sort of the idea where I made my parents believe that I could succeed in this industry, but then I'm telling them I'm working for free. So it was very difficult, but that difficulty kind of led me to where I am today, because it pushed me to start my own brand.
And to set herself apart in a crowded fashion industry by reflecting her South Asian roots in her designs.
So I never actually thought that I would, when I was at Ryerson, get into Indian or South Asian clothing at all. I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to do evening wear, I want to do red carpet, and be completely Western. And I was like, you know what, for my final 4th year collection, I'm going to experiment with Indian fabrics, Indian silhouettes, and create this sort of Indian-inspired collection, and people really liked it afterwards. People wanted to purchase it, and I was so confused because to me it was just a school project. And so I think it was just having a lot of women resonate with what the brand stood for that really helped me.
Her unique design got the attention of stylists to stars including Beyonce, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, and R&B singer Ashanti, who posted this outfit on social media wearing a Mani Jassal top.
That was really unreal when that happened. I was just like, wait, what's happening? How is this happening? Because I remember New Year's Eve, Ashanti tagged me in her tweet and her Instagram post, and I'm like, what? Is this a mistake? Something's going on?
So what's the reaction been to that, to this upstart Ryerson grad?
The response has been great. I basically created a collection or a brand that resonates with a lot of women that grew up the same way that I did, where we're born in India, or we have immigrant parents, but we also have to resonate with Canadian culture. So I find that creating a brand like mine, it brings both worlds together.
Demand for her designs allowed Mani to open her own store, first in Brampton, then this one in Yorkville, a mark of success for a young designer who's preparing to showcase her new collection at Toronto Fashion Week for a second time.
So the collection is called With Love. It is very feminine, very romantic and ethereal. It's a little bit different from my previous collections, which have been, I find, more rebellious. A lot of bold tones were used, but this time I'm using very feminine sort of prints, fabrics, and colors.
I'm curious, rebellious. Why do you use that word to describe your previous collection?
I think that's just something actually that the brand is, because So even though like the clothing is South Asian, the silhouettes and the cuts are more rebellious. I do a lot of like plunging necklines, which I always get like hate for on Instagram, where like aunties will be like, this is not Indian fashion, you're disgracing Indian fashion, you need to go to India and learn what a decent blouse is like. And I think it's just like, it's breaking that boundary.
Tell me about this piece.
So this is a dupatta, and traditionally they are worn on your head, but now it's sort of become a fashion accessory. Some brides sort of opt out of it, but others choose to wear it. I find it sort of completes the look.
Breaking boundaries, but with a sense of inclusion.
Last season for Free Spirit, we actually used models of all diverse sizes in the fashion show. And it was just sort of like a moment for me where I was just like, you know what, why not? It's 2018, like we have to showcase women of all sizes in the shows. And I'm gonna continue to do that in the show coming up as well. I actually just recently did a photo shoot called Serenity, where I used 2 beautiful plus size models. Because I've noticed that in South Asian fashion, there hasn't been any photo shoots or editorials done with curved models. So I wanted to kind of set the beauty standards for that and set the bar for that and create this beautiful shoot of these Indian brides.
To continue using Indian, South Asian inspiration, why is that important to you?
It's important because that's who I am. Like, it's a part of who I am. I think like when I initially started my collection, I actually had somebody in the industry say to me that your pieces would never work. They're not Canadian enough. Like, this is not what the Canadian market wants. And now, I'm like, so you're saying Canadian is only Western? It's only one-sided fashion when Canada is so diverse. And I think having my pieces, like, I'm not limiting it to only a South Asian market. It's for anybody that can appreciate the clothing. Because I don't think that they're overtly South Asian, and I don't think that they're overtly Canadian. I think at the end of the day, they're clothes, and if you want to wear them, you can wear them.